Let's try one more time. One more time. Let's see what happens now. Alma, let me know if it's good now. It's gonna be my last shot, guys. Sorry. I'm really sorry. Hi. Much better? Yeah, much better. Finally. All right, so 20 minutes in, let's figure out. Thank you guys. All right, so 20 minutes in, let's talk. Tell me where you guys are at for quarter one, what you feel like you've hit, some walls you've hit, some pitfalls, some good things, some bad things. Let's talk about questions you have, and this is going to be some free unsolicited advice. I know there are a lot of people online that charge a lot of money to talk to them, and and you get like these one-word answers, and you don't really get a good feel for the person. And I've had some bad experiences myself. I've paid some people, and I didn't get out of it what I thought I was going to, and it's really sad sometimes because you hope for the best, and this is your business, and you want to be successful, and it's tough because there are a lot of people out there that are ingenuine and want to succeed for themselves and don't want to help anybody else. And I know a lot of you are new, and a lot of you haven't had a lot of experience with Amazon, and I've talked to a lot of you privately. Thanks, Shauna. I've talked to a lot of you privately, and I try to answer as many questions as I can. I want to help you because I know that you and I will never be in direct competition. You can make $1 million more than me. You can make $10 million less than me. It won't matter because we'll never shop at the same stores. We'll never be in the same place at the same time. And even if we do, you'll see things that you think are better, and I'll see things that I think are better. We just never will cross paths. And if we do, it'll be on a very, very small plane. So all these people that tell you that they're secretive about what they do and where they shop and how much money they make and all of this, it's not real. It's not real. And I have been a victim to that also. I've asked some people for help over the last couple months, I guess, when I've been feeling kind of behind in sales and, not as positive as I've been in the past about Amazon or whatever. And people have told me good luck, and they're not going to take food out of their families' mouths for me. And I would never ask that of anybody. I would never ask to share secrets or give me your money or your advice or anything that could potentially hurt your business. I'm just looking to see how I can help build mine and then pay it forward. And that's what I'm doing here with you guys tonight. So I saw there was a question about, how can you increase sales on Amazon? Like I said before, it's a little tricky because I'm not an expert, honestly. I'm not as big as some people on Amazon. I'm not as big as some people pretend to be on Amazon or on Instagram or on Facebook or anywhere else for that matter. I want people to understand that, I work hard and I devote a lot of time to my business. And when I say a lot, I have my assistant friend on here tonight also, and my boyfriend is on here, my mom is on here, a lot of my girlfriends, some of my part-time workers, some of my interns are on here tonight, and these are all people that have helped me grow this business. This is not easy. This is not a fast flip, 50 cents, $1, and then you're, making $1 million before you know it. It's not that easy. There are even people on here tonight that I've trained privately, and if you don't invest the time, and it's not even necessarily about the money. You have to be able to give yourself the opportunity to be successful. You have to work hard at it, and I do work hard at it. I mean, I pretty much work 24/7, and I try to give myself a break once in a while, which probably isn't enough according to some people that are on here tonight, but you have to kind of take it easy on yourself and give yourself a break once in a while. Otherwise, you will burn out and you won't be able to make any money. So how do you increase sales? You can do things like advertising. You know, and you can just hustle. You have to be out shopping. Like, I personally only do retail arbitrage. I feel like that's my thing. It may not be your thing. A lot of people don't like it, don't get it. A lot of people like to do wholesale. A lot of people like to do private label, and that's great. I had my share of private label right now. I was not feeling it. It made me really sad for a really long time, and I didn't want that. I didn't want to be sad. I want to be able to make money and be happy and love what I do. And it's been, you know, lucrative. It's made me feel happy. I feel happy doing this. I like this job. I like to see the successes that I have throughout the day, and you know, at the end of the day, my wrap up, what I've done for the month, what I've done for the week, and kind of give myself a pat on the back, because I know how hard I've worked. I know what I've seen, and I know what I've done, and I know what my group, my family group has done. Everybody wants to kind of give a little bit of a hand in this, and I appreciate it very much. So what can you do? You can do advertising. Amazon does some pretty decent advertising. It can be a little bit costly. If you do retail arbitrage, go out and source. That's pretty much the best advice I can give you. You want to go out, you need to literally be out and hustle. You need to go out and hit Dollar Tree, hit Dollar General, and just start buying stuff. Just start finding stuff. Think outside of the box. You want to look for things that could potentially make you unique from the other listings on Amazon. For example, if let's say you find a Betty Crocker boxed cake, let's just say for example, and it's up on Amazon for $6, and it's $1 in the dollar store. So you know you're not going to make much money on it, $1 maybe, or 50 cents, or maybe not even that sometimes after Amazon's fees. Consider making it a 2-pack, or consider making it you know, a set of, let's say, a vanilla and a chocolate, or a chocolate and a strawberry, or vanilla chocolate strawberry. So it costs you $3, and you can sell it for $19. You can sell it for $18. Is it going to be a #1 bestseller rank? Probably not. But if you flip it 20 or 30 times in a month, or 2 months, or 3 months, you're making an extra $20, $30, $50. You're not flipping it for $1. I have issues with small flips, because the more you flip, the more opportunity there is for problems, I feel. Because you're, #1, you're either paying somebody to do all your boxing and your labeling and your shipping, which is a real big pain in the ass, honestly. It's not really fun. It gets really tiring after a while. You know, and you don't want to spend all your time doing that. You want to spend time actually investing in your business and looking at your stats and finding new products and being out shopping or whatever you're going to do. You know, and you gotta give yourself that opportunity to figure out how to look for things that are not necessarily already up or already doing well. You want to give yourself, you want to be unique. You want to give yourself the opportunity to succeed without somebody else's, not on somebody else's coattails, on your own. Someone asked, how much money do I think is needed to start for newbies to be successful? Honestly, I started with $500, and I actually had a really good job in finance, and I hated it, and I didn't know if I wanted to do this full time. And some of you actually know me from my eBay days when I was doing drop shipping on eBay. It wasn't fun for me either. I was doing a full-time job, and I was doing eBay pretty much part-time, so it was literally like working almost two full-time jobs after a while. And I made good money on eBay, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. And I put $500 into Amazon, and I went shopping at Five Below. That was actually my first real purchase, aside from some dollar stores that I found in the city. Some really basic stuff. And it was before I learned any of this. It's before I learned about bundling. It's before I learned about, jumping on listings and figuring things out and doing my own listings. I know a lot of you are opposed to doing your own listings, and personally, I think that if you do it the right way and you take your time, you kind of watch some videos. I mean, I don't have anybody to recommend, honestly. But if you take your time and you learn how to put up your own listing, I think those are probably the best way to make money. I went out training with somebody the other day, and I was trying to explain that when people see a bad rank with, let's say, no sellers or one seller, they get nervous and they jump away from it. They don't want to be bothered with it. They don't want to touch it. They don't want to know about it. And for me, that's like my peanut butter and jelly on my sandwich. It's so exciting for me, because when you're on a listing with nobody, you dictate the price. You dictate how you want to sell it, where you want to sell it, when you want to sell it. You can sell it fast. You can flip it fast. You can flip it slow. You could sell it for $100 if you want to. You can really do whatever you want with it. So if you see something and you're out and you have no sellers on it, don't be afraid to buy it. Don't be afraid. I'll actually tell you, don't be afraid of anything, to be quite honest with you. I know there are a lot of people that are afraid of like IP infringements and, being reported to Amazon and negative feedback, but everything is correctable. And after time, you kind of get used to it. You kind of feel a little punch in the gut, and then you don't feel it anymore. You just kind of want to get on with it, and you move on, and that's it. And don't be afraid. Just jump in, dive in. If you want just a couple $100, you can even start with like $100. You can start with $50. You can literally, there are people on Instagram that'll tell you can start with like $10. It's just a harder grind. It's just a thicker grind. And if you have like real heart and real motivation to do this, you want a business, you want to be a part of something, this is the way to do it. Honestly, this is the time to get in. Don't wait any longer. Trust me, it's not going to get easier. It's actually gotten a lot harder since I started. And all these people in this group probably can tell you the same thing, especially the people that have been doing it for a long time. It will get harder. Amazon has become very strict with who they started to approve, and Ungate and this and that, and it's become way, way tough now. So if you want to get in, now is the time. Now is the time to be a business person. Do you have to have a mindset for business? Yes. Do you have to give it your all? Yes. Do you have to stay on top of your orders? Yes. You can't let circumstance take over your business. This is your business. This is your baby. This is your first. This is your number one. And everything else, unfortunately, comes second until you start to see the benefits, until you start to see it on your own and you start to make a profit. You start to be able to pay yourself and relax a little bit. Does it take long? Not necessarily. Some people can do it in a month or two. Some people I've seen on Instagram that do it, 2-3 months, they're making a couple $1,000s a month. Maybe that's all you need. Maybe that's all you want to make. This is my full-time job now. This is my livelihood. This is my life. This is my baby. And, and I treat it like my baby. I literally every single day am on Amazon, and I work Amazon every single day. And I think about it all night, and I try not to, but I do. And, if you want a business, this is the business to be in. This is the easiest, and for me, the most fun. Is it going to be fun for you? I don't know. But if you like to shop, or if you're interested in marketing or in sales, there's a lot of different ways to go about Amazon and eBay and Poshmark. So don't be afraid. Just do it. If you've got $100, do $100. Do it. It doesn't hurt. Try. And if anything, I'm always here to help. I'm always here to offer advice. So let's see what else. What are the questions we have here? Sorry, I'm using my phone now. Have you ever gotten products out of auctions? When you say auctions, you mean like eBay auctions? Because I flip eBay sometimes. It's not always fun for me because, you never know what you're going to get. It's like, it's a crapshoot. You can have, the most amazing description and you get the box and the box is just jacked up. It's not the first time it's happened. I've gotten things off Mercari before. I've gotten things, OfferUp has given me stuff before. And, sometimes I buy electronics if they're new, if they say they're new, if the box is pristine, I'll ask a million questions. That's usually the only time I'll go for an auction. If you mean like auctions, actual physical auctions, no, I don't. I don't do thrifting. I don't do Goodwill or anything like that. I'm not above it or below it. It's just not what I do. I can walk into a Target and find 500 items to buy in 15 minutes. I can walk out of Target and spend $1,500 and have literally nothing in my shopping cart, or think that I have nothing in my shopping cart. So auctions, no, they're not for me. If you wanted to buy stuff online, I know there are some Instagram people. I'm not going to say any names because I don't know if anybody wants to be shouted out for anything, but there are people on Instagram that do that specifically, that flip eBay and flip Mercari and OfferUp and stuff like that. And you can get a lot of good information from them about that. My whole thing is retail arbitrage. So I go out, I buy in bulk, I'll clear a shelf, as some of you have seen me clear a shelf, and I put it up the next day, and it's out literally the next day also. So let's see. Somebody says they've come across, the same person, they say they come across companies that auction off excess inventory for big stores like Walmart. That's awesome. If you can find companies that do that, I would be very careful though. I would ask a lot of questions, and I would make sure that they don't cherry pick. And if you don't know what cherry picking means, basically it just means taking the good shit out and leaving you the junk, leaving you what's ever left over. A lot of companies do that. It has happened to me before when I bought a wholesale lot once. They gave me a manifest, which was amazing. And then all of a sudden I look at the manifest and half of the stuff's not in the box, and I wonder why. And I write them and I say, hey, what happened? And they say, oh, that it didn't make the box. So, if you can find companies that auction off excess inventory, so great, go for it. I mean, you can't guarantee what the box conditions are going to be like, though. Prepare yourself for some losses. It may not be all that you think it can be, but it also can be. So, again, everything's about taking a risk. This is a gamble. This whole business is a gamble. There's nothing certain about anything. One day you can have $100 in sales. The next day you can have $500 in sales. Next day you can have $10,000 in sales. As some of you have seen with my numbers and other people's numbers also, it's impossible to know. It's impossible. So give it a shot. If it doesn't cost you a lot of money, I would say why not take a chance? Take a chance on anything. If you've got a little bit of extra money to try, why not try? Felix says, there's a lot of Toys R Us that are closing down and clearing out inventory. Yeah, I saw that actually. A couple of my friends and a couple of people that I talked to on Instagram have told me and showed me some stores closing in my area, New York, New Jersey. I'm actually in Brooklyn. I am pretty excited about it, I'd say. I don't know, because again, the whole cherry picking thing, I feel like Toys R Us will take out all the good shit and send it to the other stores, and then you're kind of pretty much stuck with whatever they have, and you either have to take it or not take it. Could it be good? Yeah, I don't see why it couldn't be good. If you're interested in flipping toys, that's definitely the way to go. My whole thing, personally, I do health, beauty, and grocery mostly. It seems to be the fastest flip for me. Toys, for some reason, doesn't do as well during the year as necessities do. And that's something to keep in mind, because you want people to repeat buy. You don't want people to come in and buy one thing from you and then not buy again for 6 months or a year, or not even think about you. If you're in their shopping cart and they check you out and they go into their orders and they see that they purchased this from you last month, they're going to just click repeat buy. They're just going to buy it again. So be prepared for that. That's why you want to do things that are replenishable, and that's why you want to do things that are either consumable or things that people can use. Case in point, like Band-Aids, Tylenol, things, gum, candy, chips, you name it. Pretty much anything that can be used up is where you want it to be. So let's see what the next question is. Let's see. Do I ever make huge sets of like 10 plus quantity? I have. I actually don't do it personally, but I do jump on listings of 10 plus quantity because I just think that it's a faster sell. Some people want 10 bags of chips or 10, I don't know what people want 10 of, but whatever they want 10 of, they can have 10 of. I'll sell it to them 10 of. You'll see there's a lot of them. There's a lot of people do that up on Amazon now. They'll put up a set of 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 and maybe do a variation listing. I'm not opposed to anything. I'm really not opposed to it. If it's something that I feel is viable, you have to use your intuition on a lot of things. You have to say, is this something that I would buy? Is this something that my family would buy, my friends would buy, my girlfriend, my boyfriend would buy, my husband, my kids? Is this something my kids would want? You know, and then if they're all panning out as a no, it's probably a no. If they all pan out as a yes, then you know, or if some of them pan out as a yes, then you know it's a yes. And, you know, give your gut an opportunity to make you some money, because that's pretty much the way you're going to make it. If you see something that's interesting, or something on a shelf that says new, limited edition, unique, fancy colors, new packaging, those are all opportunities for you to make money. Those are opportunities you're literally leaving on the shelf that aren't giving you money in your pocket. You're just literally just leaving it at the store. So, yeah. So yes, my eyeshadow is sparkling. Thanks. Let's see what else. Do I have a separate storage space for my merchant fulfilled items? Unfortunately, I do not. I live in Brooklyn, and I don't know if you guys know about New York housing and apartments and houses and what things look like. I'm sure you guys have seen some TV shows about small spaces and maximizing space, and closets being consumed and couches and floors. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at right now. I try to leave some space for life, like real life. And then I try to leave some space for, you know, business. And, you know, I have designated areas, like my dining room is a designated area. Some of my living room is a designated area. Some of my kitchen, some of my office, which is where we're at now. You know, and then I try to leave the bedrooms completely empty, because it's got to have some kind of sanctuary. So no, I don't have a storage space. I probably should get a storage space. Anybody that comes in here says I should get a storage space. So if anybody wants to chip in, I'd greatly appreciate a storage space. Next question is, do I coupon? I like to coupon. Do I coupon? Not really. My favorite couponing place is actually CVS, quite honestly, because they have tons and tons and tons of coupons. You literally buy something and it prints out. Victoria knows what it's called. She told me what it's called, Catalina or something. Vic, I don't know. So they print out the coupons after you purchase it, so you could purchase it again. And then CVS offers you like cash back and 2% at the end of every quarter and this and that. And I mean, I literally walk into a store with a 30% off coupon, 20 something dollars in dollars, actual like CVS dollars, and then like random dollar off here, dollar off this, dollar off that, manufacturer coupons. I don't know much about couponing, honestly. I like to use coupons because I like to know that, you know, I'm saving some kind of money, but if you can do it, you should, obviously. I mean, the more you can save. I also use Ebates if you buy online. There's also Top Cashback. There's a whole bunch of sites out there. So far this quarter on Ebates, I've made back $600 of money that I spent that didn't cost me anything to retrieve. So that makes me feel pretty good. So if you buy stuff online, or if you replenish online, or whatever the case is, or even if you do online arbitrage, definitely use some kind of cash back. Also, there's cash back on your credit cards. I don't know if you guys use credit cards or debit cards. Most of them usually have like a 1 or 2% cash back bonus, so you can make more money back on that. I was actually watching a video from a pretty big whale today, and he made like $69,000 cash back this year, like over like 2017. So imagine $69,000 cash back. Just saying. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. So if you have coupons, I'd say why not use them. Am I taking new clients? Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it. I have some opportunities available. I like to not overwhelm myself with a schedule. I have some clients now that I do private shopping with, but I would consider taking on somebody new depending on how serious you are. Honestly, I only want to have people that really want to do this, because this is a very big investment for me, not just for you. My time is incredibly valuable. I do have a business that I run, and, you know, I pay people to run my business when I'm not here. So if you want to take my time, then you have to show me that you really have an interest in this and you really want to do this, you know, whether it's full-time, part-time, that I don't care, but you really have to be involved and you have to be emotionally invested in this. Do I do wholesale? I do not do wholesale. There are other people on Instagram that we all know, I'm sure, that do big business in wholesale, not just in the United States, the United Kingdom as well. I do not do wholesale. I don't know much about it. I don't know if I want to know about it. I don't have a place for pallets. I'll probably get kicked out of my apartment if I do. It's just not my cup of tea. I was actually talking to somebody yesterday about it. I can only imagine flipping something 1,000 times with $1 or $2 profit in my mind. I can't fathom it in real life. I don't want to do that. That's not how I run my business. Again, you're welcome to do whatever you feel is best for you, but that's just not in my wheelhouse. If I'm going to flip something, I'm going to flip it for $5 or more. My lowest is always $5. I never go below $5 in case the price tanks. But I flip things for $70, $80 most of the time. I don't want little flips. They don't do it for me. They don't excite me. They don't keep my business running. They don't pay my bills. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, honestly. So if you have an opportunity to do wholesale, I know there are some people online that you can talk to. Maybe they can give you some advice if that's what you want to do. Is it rough come tax time with this type of business? Hold on while I take a drink. I'm not a big fan of taxes. I'm not a big fan of the IRS. I don't think that they're very nice people. I think that they try to hurt people. I think they try to hurt businesses. I think they try to hurt families, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Are taxes easy? Taxes are never easy. Taxes aren't easy for people that have a single income or children or house or a bill. Literally, if you live, taxes aren't easy. Keeping track of sales is incredibly hard. People use Inventory Lab. I have a system on my own that I use, and I have a decent accountant, and I have help, and if you're doing it on your own, it's not that easy. That's probably the biggest of this whole thing. The fun part is the sales. You wake up in the morning and you see you've made like a couple $100 and it's like, woo! And at the end of the day, you made like a big ton of money. You're like, woo! And then at the end of the day, at the end of the night, after everything's all wooed out, you go and you do your bookkeeping and you're like, woo. So, no, taxes are never fun. So I don't really have much more to say about that, unfortunately. Amazon toy sales Q4 will be lit. Q4 is always lit. Anything you buy. Doesn't matter, toys or anything else. You want to go to Toys R Us now and hold it. I mean, I know people that do that. I'm not against it. I just, it's not for me. I want to make the flip and I want to move on from the flip. And if it's a repeat buy or something that I can replenish, that's the stuff that I'm going to stick to. I don't fare well in toys for some reason. Maybe it's because I don't know enough about toys. I don't have any kids or anything, so I don't know like what kids like or what's on TV right now for kids in terms of cartoons or aside from Sesame Street because I'm old. So toys are not my thing. I stick with what I know, and what I know is that people want food and they want things that will constantly need to fill up their medicine chests, medicine cabinets, and things that they need in their lives every single day. And, that's it. That's what I know. So that's the best I can offer you about toys. Laundry detergent, I mean, why not? However, laundry detergent is pretty heavy, so you don't want to take advantage of that. Shipping that to Amazon can be kind of a pain in the neck. And not to mention, Amazon may have hazmat on that, so I don't know if that's necessarily the best option for you. If they have smaller bottles, maybe I'd consider that, but I don't think I'd consider, like the big gallon bottles or the big 2, 3, 4 pound bottles. And somebody says, when you're new, as you know, of course, food and beauty is gated. What category do you advise to look at as a new seller? You can get ungated. It's very easy. If you have any questions about getting ungated, you can send me a DM and I can talk to you about some stuff that I know. But I personally, I don't know, I would say maybe home or go to the dollar store. You can always find like hairspray, bubble bath, body wash, seasonal products. For example, Valentine's Day is coming up, and I know that like Dollar Tree and Dollar General and all those places do figurines and decorations and things like that, or the little conversation hearts. You make a set of them. You make a set, like a whole bundle of a bunch of decorations, like put 4 or 5 decorations and it costs you $4 or $5, and then you make a whole big set of it, and people will want to buy a set rather than buy a piece of it or one off. So those are things you can look at. I mean, is it as easy when you're ungated? No, obviously it's not, because there are a lot of people doing the same exact thing that you're doing. It's not that easy, and you have to kind of grind at it. That's when you have to grind. That's when you really have to show if this is something you want to do or not. And then once you get ungated, everything's pretty simple. I know there are people online on Instagram also that do books. I don't do books. I've never done books. I've never touched a book. I don't ever want to touch a book. I don't know enough about it. Million ranks scare the hell out of me. And I just, again, want to get it in, see what happens. If it sells, great, replenish. If it doesn't sell, get out and find something new. I'm not in it for a long haul. I don't want things to sit for 6 months. You've got storage fees monthly. You've got storage fees 2 times annually, long-term storage fees. This one's coming up in 2 weeks. If you guys are doing Amazon right now, you might want to check your suppressed listings, your unfulfillable inventory, and your stranded inventory, and kind of wipe everything out there. Make sure everything is all straight and narrow. There's nothing in any of those categories, because you're paying fees on those things that are not available to sell. So again, suppressed listings, unfulfillable inventory, and stranded inventory. You might want to reprice some old stuff and just get rid of it, because storage fees aren't fun. They're not fun for anybody. Let's see. Somebody asked, are books worth it? I have a family member that works in a college and throws out books all the time. I really don't know about books, honestly. I don't want to lie to you and tell you that I do, and I don't want to give you bad information on it. Books just aren't my thing. I can't get into it. Let's see. Somebody writes, I noticed not just grocery anymore, but there's a pantry category and limits my grocery selling. I just got approved. Any advice on how to tackle this or workarounds? It's annoying. Okay. So Prime Pantry is Amazon exclusive. You will never get ungated in Pantry. Nobody is ungated in Pantry. Only people that can sell Pantry is Amazon. If you find something that's in Pantry that is not up, after you can actually type it into your phone, into your Amazon Seller Central, and see if it's up on any other listing. If it's not up, you can make your own listing. Make a 2-pack, make a 3-pack, put it up as a single if you want. If people don't have Prime Pantry, they will buy yours. Prime Pantry, I know there's a fee associated with it. I don't know how much it is. I think it's like $5 or every time you buy or something like that. I'm not entirely sure of the specifics on it. It might even be a monthly or an annual fee. Prime Pantry is great if you have Prime Pantry, and you pay $2 for something that would normally cost you $3, and that's fantastic. But for most people that want to save money and don't want to spend, even on Prime, that don't even want to pay for the annual fee for Prime, they're going to buy yours. They're going to spend the $2 and buy yours rather than spend $90 a year on Prime or Prime Pantry. So if you find something that's in Prime Pantry that's not up, make a listing. Nobody was ever approved in Prime Pantry, so there's nothing to even say about that. Do I have any experience with online arbitrage? I do. I don't particularly care for it. It's a very simple concept. It's probably a lot easier than what I do, and you find things online, you price match them, you compare them to what you've got on Amazon, and then you have it shipped to your house. And it sounds really lovely. It sounds really simple, but it's really not, because after you purchase something, you're waiting for it to come to your house. And I see it on my Seller Central with, let's say, a rank of 30,000 or 20,000, let's just say. By the time it gets to me, the rank can be 15,000 or 5,000 or 1,000. And the price can have tanked $20 or $15 or $5. And then where do you go from there? You're kind of just sitting on this stuff and then you got to send it back. Or it can go in the opposite direction. You see that it's got a rank of 30,000 now, and then by the time you get it a week later, and then you send it to Amazon, and that takes a week. And I have a warehouse in Pennsylvania that's close to me, and that's pretty much where they have me send all my merchandise to. But what happens when it gets sent to Kent, Washington, or to Texas, or to California? That's a week from where I live. So now we're talking about 3 or 4 days to come to me, the item from wherever I'm purchasing it from, me to ship it to Amazon, Amazon to ship it to California. It gets transferred around 100 times. It could be 2 weeks before it checks in. And then the rank can drop to like 100,000 or 200,000 or whatever it can drop to. And then what? And then you're sitting on it. You have to wait, and you have to see if it sells. You have to hope that it sells. And if it doesn't sell, you recall it back, and then you get charged to recall it back. So that's a lot of words that I just said. But do I like online arbitrage? No. Again, some people like it, and there are a lot of people that do really well with it. And again, I do retail arbitrage. That's my go-to, and that's where I feel most comfortable. And you kind of just have to play around with them. And like we said before, you have to experiment and try different things and see what you like. If you prefer to stay at home all day, or if you have only a little bit amount of time, you can't go out shopping, you have children, or you have responsibilities that don't allow you to get out as often, online arbitrage is a great option. I would not say to invest a lot of money in the beginning until you feel comfortable, though. It's easier to invest in retail because if it doesn't sell, you can always just bring it back to the store. You get like 60 or 90 days to bring something back. Most of the things you buy are retail or under $5, so you're not losing $1 million. When you're buying stuff online, you start to have minimums and shipping costs, and it just becomes a little more stickier. So if you have a little bit extra money to invest, why not try? Let's see. What kind of printer do I use for my labels? This is like the third time somebody asked me this in like 2 days. That's pretty funny. I actually use a Canon Image Class multi-use printer, which is a laser printer, a scanner, fax, and this bad boy cost me $89 on Amazon, and he's lasted me 3 years now. The toner I pay like $60 for, and it probably lasts me one a month, and I do a lot of merchant fulfilled. I probably do 2,000 pieces of merchant fulfilled a month. So I'm printing out at least 4,000 sheets just merchant fulfilled, aside from all the other stuff, the other business stuff that I deal with throughout the day. So you don't need a fancy printer. You don't need a fancy anything. You don't need the little Dymo. You don't need any of this stuff, especially if you're just starting out. Save your money. Invest that money in product. Invest that money in the things that you need to make your business better. You don't need to have a fancy printer. I use the 30 up labels, which are like the 5 across or whatever, 3 across, 3 across and 10 down. Just don't waste money. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. I'm ungated in health and beauty, and I want food next. Yeah, I mean, food is great. Honestly, it's a big business, and if you keep an open mind to things and you do things like offer sets or do bundles, it can be really big. It can be really big for you. You can actually maybe even start your own wholesale business from it. Let's see. Whoa, what's going on there? Somebody said they're doing books solely right now, and you've been doing it for 3 months. I hope I hope it's working out for you. I mean, I know there are a lot of people that are really successful doing books, honestly. I just don't know about it. Somebody asked about wholesale again. We talked about that. Wholesale is just not for me. You worried about expiration dates on food items. That's a great question. Expiration dates on food items have to be 120 days out. So if you are buying something today, you consider it like February 1st and calculate 4 months from now. And if it's not 4 months from now or greater, you cannot send it into Amazon. They frown upon it if you send in expired stuff or close to expiration. They wind up putting it in your unfulfillable inventory or suppressed or stranded inventory. And then it doesn't make sense because they're just collecting their fees on it and you'll never be able to sell it. So if you find something that's great, it has to be 120 days out. So keep that in your mind. Always keep yourself focused on that whenever you're out shopping. Even health and beauty products, a lot of them have expiration dates. Some are usually a year out, which are great. Some are 6 months out sometimes, and some say 3 months. So be aware of all of that. It only takes a second to look. Let's see what else we got here. Somebody says I'm radiant. Thank you so much. Do I stick to dry goods that expire in 6 months? No, I don't stick to anything. I beat to my own drum. If I know that I can get things to sell fast, if it has a good rank and I want to get things out and I get it out fast, most things don't sit very long after I purchase them. I would say probably 24 to 48 hours and they're gone. Things that aren't expirable, maybe they'll sit a little longer, maybe they'll sit a day or two if they're not seasonal product. But you should consider that. If you can move fast on it, do it. If you can't move fast on it, don't do it. Let's see. What softwares do I use? Honestly, I just use my Amazon Seller Central app. I don't use anything fancy. I don't use Camel. I don't use anything really. I have a couple Chrome extensions that I falter to, but nothing really special that is worth discussing, and nothing that's really going to change your business or my business. Honestly, it is. Amazon Seller Central essentially does everything you need it to. And again, some people I know don't agree with that, and they think that there are other methods that need to be used also, but I don't think so. I haven't had any issues with it. Honestly, I don't really want to be bothered with anything else. If I'm outsourcing, I just want to get what I need to get, figure out what I want, figure out what I like, figure out what's new or unique, and buy it and go. I want to hit 3 or 4 stores. I don't want to be worried about looking up every single thing on Camel, and finding something that may or may not be a hit, and then second guessing myself, because I do that a lot. And you'll do that too. If you're out in a store and you see something that you like, and then you think about it and you say, well, what if this, or what if this, or what if it doesn't sell, or how much is this? Second guessing doesn't work. I'm going to tell you something now that's probably the best advice that someone gave me, actually my mentor, a very long time ago. And he said to me, everything will sell. And it sounds funny, right? Because you think that everything will sell, but how can everything sell? It's impossible. How can every single thing sell? Every single thing will sell. It's really just a matter of giving it the opportunity to sell. It may take time. It may take a month. It may take 6 months. I have product at Amazon that sold this Christmas, which was Easter products, which was like Peeps and Easter decorations that hadn't sold from the previous April. And they sold for Christmas. So imagine selling Easter stuff at Christmas. I mean, everything will sell. So even if you want to not price fairly, which I don't agree with, but even if you want to up the price, or you want to kind of stick to your guns on something that you need to make a little bit more money on, it will sell. So keep the faith. Again, when you buy stuff, always look at expiration dates and price it accordingly. If you know it's going to expire within right after the 120 days, make sure you price it like that. If it's not going to expire for 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is, if it's a dry good, I mean, you can do whatever you want with it. It's your business. You can run it however you feel. Somebody asked me what my net margin is on RA. You guys have seen my numbers. I put up my numbers. I'm very open about it. I don't discuss my totals at the end, but I sustain. I do pretty well. And I'm very grateful for what I get, and I'm very grateful for the sales that I make and the people that help me. And yeah, so if you just look through my Instagram, you could pretty much figure out, take a guess, take a wild guess. It's not huge, but it's pretty decent, and I'm happy. And it's going to be bigger this year. So let's see. Somebody asked, do I keep all my inventory in my house? No, I do not. I only keep my merchant fulfilled inventory in my house, which is the same probably 20 or 30 items that I keep replenishing. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. I like to merchant fulfill some things because I get more profit from it. I like to merchant fulfill because I get a faster flip. It's just an easier situation for me rather than sending it into Amazon, waiting for it to check in, and then it not getting anywhere. So I merchant fulfill a lot, but pretty much the same stuff over and over again. Let's see what else we got. Do I do this exclusively for income? I do. I also do Shopify. I do eBay. I do, what else do I do? I do Walmart. Which I don't necessarily recommend, but that's a different story for a different time, I guess, if you guys don't have any questions about Walmart. I've also signed up for Sears, fulfillment by Sears, which I'm trying to wait to see if they go bankrupt or not before I start sending them merchandise. But yeah, I do this exclusively for income. I have multiple streams, thankfully, but Amazon is my number one. Let's see. How do I decide what to send to FBA and which to merchant fulfill? I kind of touched on this already. I look for things that are a fast flip. I want to get in, make my money, and get out. So if it's something that I feel that I can very quickly change into profit, I'll merchant fulfill it. If I feel like it's something that, it's going to stick where it is and its price isn't going to tank, or there's not going to be a million sellers on it, I'll send it in. Most of the stuff that I do is not grocery merchant fulfill, with the exception of some very close expiration dates. So everything else pretty much goes FBA. I would say 85% is FBA. Do I have a game plan when I hit a store? Do you scan everything? I mean, yeah. I know it sounds really annoying that nobody really has a straightforward answer about this, and I feel bad because when I train, I kind of just jump right into things and I get really excited about stuff, and I try to scan the store myself first so that I kind of know what we're looking for when I bring people in to train, give them ideas and think about things myself so that I kind of have a game plan, I guess. Eventually your eye will train, and I know this sounds kind of weird, but when you look left, look right, when you're walking down a shopping aisle, eventually you'll start to see I'm a girl, obviously, so pink draws my eye, or bright colors, neon colors, or purples, or even black sometimes, black and white. But things that are usually yellow or green or blue don't really draw my eye. If they are, they'll have like a big circle on the top and it'll say new or limited edition. That stuff will draw my eye. So what I would suggest, honestly, is taking a trip like to a Target or Walmart, not so much Kmart. Kmart is not really cheap. Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Five Below. I mean, literally any store you go to, you can just kind of see out of the corner of your eye. If something looks cool and interesting, go over to it, scan it. If it's not up, list it. It's a very simple process. It's really not as difficult as people seem to make it, because you're really just looking for that one hit. All you need is one hit, and it'll make you a good amount of money to flip again, and then you buy something else. So keep your eye open, keep your eyes out, use peripheral vision, and take your time. I mean, if you have a couple hours to spare, spend a couple hours. Learn. You have to learn. There's no other way to do it but hands-on. If you don't do it hands-on, you won't be able to see it. You won't be able to get a good idea of what to look for in the future. And that's part of what I teach also. I want people to see that, mentality is to look forward or to look down. You don't want to look like this. You want to look like this. You want to constantly be looking around. And you're not having a conversation with anybody. You're not looking anybody in the face. It doesn't really matter. You just kind of want to look around and see what's on each side of you and kind of take your time. Let's see. Do I split FBA and FBM on the product? I was curious. Used to win the buy box with FBM. I always win the buy box on my FBMs because I want to sell. I want to sell. Do I do half FBA and half FBM? Not usually on the same product. It's not really worth it. It's like fighting yourself for your own money. Some people will say, well, why is it $2 cheaper from the same person? They'll buy only your merchant fulfilled anyway. Your FBA sits there, you wind up spending fees on it. It doesn't make sense. If I'm going to do FBM, I'm going to do FBM. If I'm going to do FBA, I'm going to do FBA. I try not to do on the same listings. What rank percentage do I stick with when making my purchase decisions? I don't like to go over 100,000 rank on anything. I know there's a list that floats around. I've sent it to a bunch of you before, and I've seen it on a bunch of accounts also. they say to stay in the top like 10% tier of whatever category you're looking to purchase in. But for me, I don't ever go over 100,000. I just feel like anything over 100,000 is not really worth your time. The only time I will go over 100,000 is what we said in the beginning. If I find something that there are no sellers on, 0 sellers, and then I dictate the price and I dictate the listing. It becomes my listing. I get the buy box. I have control of it. Then at that point, then I'll take a listing at whatever rank. 600,000, 700,000 won't matter to me. It doesn't make any difference because I will sell it. Let's see. Do I create many listings, new listings on FBA? Should I try to stick to already historically sold items? Yeah. Yes, I do both. It's 50-50. It's honestly 50-50. It's fun to find new stuff, don't you think? Imagine if you find something in the store that nobody else has on Amazon and that nobody else is selling pretty much online, period. Don't you think that that'd be more of an enticement for you to buy it and want to sell it and want to put up your listing for the potential that it could sell 1 million in a day, or it could sell 1 million in a month, or it could sell 5. I mean, depends on how cool it is, actually. But I know some of you know that I had a product that I saw online, on TV actually, a few months ago. Back in November, it's actually up on my Instagram. It was a product that I saw on TV, and I listed it up on Amazon, and I sold about 600 of them in 2 days, merchant fulfilled. And it was not fun. But it was something that nobody else had, and it was something that everybody wanted, and nobody had it on Amazon. And I said, well, why not I sell it? Who better than me, right? I mean, I'm a merchant fulfilled kind of girl, so that's that. Let's see what else. Let's see. I'm trying to read through these comments. There's so many. Faster flip with merchant fulfilled. Well, Alma, you know better than anybody, honey. What rank would I consider a fast flip? That's tough. Depends on the category, I guess, because if it's a replenishable, like if it's a food item or a health and beauty item, a fast flip can literally be 20 or 30,000, because if you got to figure, if it's a bag of potato chips, they're eating them in 2 days or 3 days or 1 day even, and then they're going to want another one next week. So even if it's ranked 30,000, the next week you'll have another one. Some things are a little bit tougher. I mean, some things for a fast flip, other categories, if you sell something like, let's say, a vitamin or something, you've got 30 days on it. So you're waiting 30 days for it to flip. So now you're talking about like a 50,000 rank, if you're the only one selling it, obviously. A fast flip would probably be 10,000 or less. But they're hard to find, and they're hard to follow, and they're really hard to stick with because prices fluctuate so badly on them. Have I ever had a store employee come up and ask me why I'm scanning items? Somebody asked me that the other day too. Yeah, all the time. And I tell them I'm just price checking. Somebody actually tried to kick me out of a store once because they said that I was taking pictures of their items, which is against store policy, but I was not taking pictures, and I proved that I was not taking pictures. Yeah, it can get kind of funny sometimes. I mean, it feels a little weird, I guess, but I mean, it's my business. I don't really care. You don't care. How do I get sales with Fulfilled by Merchant? I do wholesale, and my FBA products do good, but my Fulfilled by Merchant items never sell. They all have really good ratings under 10,000, and I'm the lowest listed price, but no sales. That's really odd, because if you have the buy box, I don't know if you have the buy box. The rank won't matter if you don't have the buy box, because people aren't searching for non-prime items without a buy box. Lowest listed price, no sales. I really honestly couldn't tell you. How do I get sales with Fulfilled by Merchant? They're organic, honestly. I don't even do advertising. I did advertising for Christmas. I spent a lot of money. I made a lot of money, but it wasn't worth my time. It wasn't worth the aggravation. There was way too much aggravation with it. I couldn't tell you why your Fulfilled by Merchant items don't sell. I mean, if you wanted to send me a DM and we can talk about it privately, you can show me some listings and maybe I can give you some advice. but I couldn't tell you just off the hip from what you wrote. Sorry. Do I shop outside of Brooklyn all the time? I can shop anywhere. I literally can shop anywhere. I went to Texas a few years ago and I shopped down there. I actually imagine taking trains and planes and all kinds of things, shopping all over, because I know what to look for and I know how to find it. And I eventually hope to have that opportunity and be able to just buy stuff all over and fulfill everybody's need all over the world for whatever products they're looking for. Let's see, how much inventory do I typically keep on Amazon? Asking because I was talking about storage fees and saying you want things in and out. Right now, I have 800 SKUs listed. I did a clean house over the last 3 weeks, which is part of my regrouping process after Q4, and I got rid of a lot of stuff that I didn't know was, like, had no idea if it was going to sell or not. I was just tired of looking at it. I was tired of talking about it, tired of paying fees on it. And I disposed of some. I had some sent back. Some was groceries, so people in my house and friends and family got some freebies for food and stuff. You know, I don't want to keep a million things at Amazon. I do want to get it in and out. My monthly storage fees never really reach more than $50, and that's with, I had 1,100 SKUs Christmas time. So just imagine, it's not all small and light. It's all different size things, things in different capacities, and soft and hard and large and small and heavy and lightweight. So just imagine how fast it turns over. That's all I can say. Let's see. The guy wrote back about the buy box. It says, I don't have the buy box, not sure how to get it fulfilled by merchant. I'm only 60 days in. That's why you don't have the buy box, my friend. Amazon has to have trust in you to have the buy box. Once your account becomes more established, you get more feedbacks, then you start to get the buy box more frequently, and then they'll start to test it and make sure that you can fulfill it. For now, even if you fulfilled 150 orders or 1,000 orders, it wouldn't make a difference. You're only 60 days in. That's the reason. So sorry, but it will be able to come back to you. You will be able to get the buy box. It just won't be for a little bit. Somebody asked if I flip grocery. I do. Where do I source for grocery? Honestly, you can go to your supermarket. You can go to your local supermarket. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't have to do anything special. Go to your local supermarket and start to look for things that are bright colored, things that say limited edition, things that say new packaging. People are intrigued by new packaging because they assume that if it's new packaging, it's new flavor, which is not necessarily the case, and mostly not the case. But you can just go in and start to scan, and nobody's going to stop you in a supermarket. They assume your price checking. I have 2 minutes left, guys. I want to kind of get some more questions in really quick before I go. I want to thank you all for coming. I promise I'll do this again soon. If you have any questions, always feel free to DM me. Hi, everybody. I appreciate everybody coming. Does anybody have any other questions? Or somebody says, people are so damn stingy with feedback. No one left any at Christmas. I have thousands of sales too. Any suggestions? Yes, I have the best suggestion for feedback. Start including a business card. Just a little something that says, if you liked your purchase, please give us a 5-star feedback, or whatever, give us a positive feedback. It has made a difference for me. And again, you can always write at the bottom, if you have any questions, feel free to write us before leaving feedback so we can, rectify any problems you have. Believe it or not, I've avoided a lot of negative feedback because of that. Also, there's something called Sales Backer, which if you wanted to pay for, if you don't have a lot of sales, you can use them, and then they contact your buyers for you once the sale is made, and then they will, they'll tell them what to do if there's an issue or how to leave feedback. Do I source pet food? Yes. I don't not source anything. So keep your mind open to things, and you'll be fine. I mean, again, if anybody wants to ask me any questions, always DM me. I'm kind of busy sometimes, but I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have, and I have 20 seconds left. So thanks so much, guys, for coming by. I really appreciate it. I hope to do this again. I hope you found this informative, and all the best. Happy FBA. Bye, guys.